So now we're going to do a somatic exploration to wake up the low back. So it's going to be a twist, and I just want to say before we get going, as we twist, it's never to feel like we're straining anywhere. We're not pulling on the body. So we're going to do a pre-check, which basically means we're going to check in, see what our range is before we do any sort of ignition of the muscle. So let's twist to the right first. Just go and notice where your body wants to stop. Pick a spot on the wall that you can see without it straining the neck. We are not going with the chin and the head here. We're just turning, boom, I stop. My body wants to stop. I'm not adding an extra little force. I pick a spot, I see where I can look comfortably. And I also want to notice how this feels. So when I turned to the right, did it lift up my left shoulder? Did it shift my weight over to one side of the pelvis? So these are all signs of pulling on the body that sometimes are a little bit sneakier. So now to begin, we're going to actually start in a slumped position. So drop your head down, round through the low back, and roll onto the back of your butt bones. On your inhale, we're going to go to the right. Slide your right hand over towards your right knee. You can still be sitting in a chair for this exploration. Inhale, bring your pelvis up to a standing position. Start to twist your belly button to the right. Go as far as what's comfortable. Do not lead with the head, and engage your, pause here, engage, that means to ignite and fire up your right shoulder blade and give it a little squeeze. Just your right shoulder blade. Don't let it force your front ribs out, but just fire up that back shoulder blade on the right side only. Then feel your body letting go of that ignition consciously and come back to a slumped position, keeping our awareness under our skin. And just breathe. Give it a moment. Notice what's happening. If nothing is happening, that's something, right? Nothing is something. And we go again. Inhale, lift the pelvis to a standing position. Start sliding your left hand across your right knee. Twist your torso to the right. Right shoulder blade ignites. Now left shoulder blade also squeezes in towards the spine. Do not put pressure on the front ribs. Do not throw your chin forward. Just fire up your back muscles. Give them a little ignition, 3 to 5 seconds. Now consciously sense and feel the letting go of the back muscles as you come back around. And you let your head hang and you breathe. And you wait. And we'll go again. Different cueing, same side. Inhale, lift the pelvis to a standing position. Slide your hand over to the right side. Start your spinal twist rotation to the right. Engage your right shoulder blade, engage your left shoulder blade. This time, look over your left shoulder. As your two shoulder blades are firing up, just look left. No pull on the neck, just look that way. Consciously start the release, letting go, rounding over, slumping over, slowly coming back. Breathe. Notice what's happening in your back. Do you feel any tension being released from your shoulders? Do you feel any softening going down? Make sure your elbows are really released. Nothing in the body is efforting. Slump as much as you want. The more we slump, the more the tension releases. Don't pull though. Don't pull on your neck. Just slump the spine. One last variation. Start your inhale. Inhale, rise. Lift the pelvis to a standing position. Go the same direction to the right. Slide that left hand across to the right knee. Engage your right shoulder blade. Engage your left shoulder blade. Look to the right. But now only stretch your eyeballs. Your head is to the right, but your eyeballs are looking left. And feel like you're giving your membrane in your eyes a little stretch, not much. Close the eyes, roll back around to your slumped position and breathe. Give it a moment. Keep relaxing your elbows, keep relaxing your chin and head. Relax your ribs, relax behind the diaphragm, relax your low back. And then let's come up, sitting back up to our neutral. And now we'll check in with our post-check, which means same thing we did in the pre-check. Go see where your body naturally wants to stop. Wow, I have so much more range. I can see so much further. I do not feel like I'm pulling on myself just by firing up those low back muscles, engaging them, releasing them, woke them up a little bit, and now they're responding. All right, so if you're sitting cross-legged in any way, I'll suggest that you change the leg that's in front, just because we've been sitting in our habit for a little bit. So just shift a little bit if you're sitting. And now let's check in with our left side pre-check. Turn, don't pull. Where do you see comfortably? Pick a spot. And then come back. And we'll start our range going into the left direction. Slump down, round. Slide your hand over towards your left leg. As you inhale, lift your pelvis to a standing position. Start your belly button turning to the left and go as far as what's comfortable. Don't stretch it. It's just where your body wants to stop. And fire up, squeeze your left shoulder blade towards the spine. Fire it up, not even to all your might. You don't have to create pain or strain. Just engage it and widen that collarbone. And then release it. Let your brain notice and feel and sense the release. And come back and slump. Let your chin fall. Relax your hands. No tension in your fingers or elbows. Neck is softly just falling forward. Not pulling on your neck, not pulling on your back. And again, on your next inhale, begin to lift the pelvis to a neutral position. Keep your spine in the center. Start to slide your right hand across, rotate around to the left, fire up your left shoulder blade, fire up your right shoulder blade. Give them a little squeeze, 3 to 5 seconds. Try not to throw your ribs forward. And then let it go. Roll back around. Just let yourself melt into a slumping position. Do not pull. Release tension in your fingers, wrists, chin, jaw, eyes. Breathe. And now third variation. Same side, inhale, lift the pelvis, nice and slow. The slower we go, the more we feel. Let that right hand slide across, twist to the left, fire up the left shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade, look over your right shoulder, turn your head, whole thing looks to the right. Squeeze your shoulder blades down, soften the rib cage in the front. Notice the release, everything softens, and you roll back around to your rounded, slumped position, like when we fall asleep in a chair. Inhale, rise up, lift the pelvis to its standing position, slide the right hand across onto the left knee, turn your belly button and chest to the left, squeeze your left shoulder blade, your right shoulder blade. Look over towards your left, don't stretch your neck, but then stretch only your eyeballs. Stretch and only look to the right, but your head is facing left. And then release. and come down and breathe. And then come up and check in with your post check. Go around, whoa, that's very, very nice to see. And now take your hands in the air so that you don't have that urge to pull. And all I want you to do is twist from the belly button and leave your nose and your belly button in one line so that we don't fool ourselves by going with our heads, because that's a very common thing. And you just twist through the low back. Nice and easy. This is doesn't have to be fast, but this is just enjoyable. Play with this, let it integrate, and feel, let your brain really feel, wow, this is what it feels like to have my low back be responsive to wake up and come to the party to help me move. So that is an exercise you can do, exploration really, every day, and really keep the inner posture of exploring. That's why I changed the word from exercise to exploration, because if we do it as an exercise, we will not spend time in the most important part. And that most important part is the dynamic stillness in between each of the repetitions. So that's the opportunity when what the brain has to learn. The brain has to sense the contrast, and then the nervous system has to relax into that contrast. This is how we change behavior of any sort, because it's one thing to do something different and another thing to completely relax into it so that it just becomes an integrative part of our being. So we can do it with movement, and then it will transfer to other actions in our life. So now